What is going on YouTube? And welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank y'all so much for joining me for this being my overall review of Survivor Season 49. The season just wrapped up this past Wednesday. Congratulations to Savannah, the winner. I am not surprised that she won whatsoever. And my feeling is that her fellow tribe mates, contestants, however you want to label them, pretty much handed her the $1 million. Couple things I want y'all to do before we get started. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Press that big subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. Takes less than a second to mash that thing, so go ahead and mash it for a brother. Be sure to leave this video a thumbs up. Let me know you're enjoying the content I'm putting out on my channel. Also, be sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this season. Who were your favorites? Who did you want to win? Were you surprised Savannah won? Let me know down in the comments. Also, be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. Let me tell you something. Survivor is probably one of my top 3 shows to watch, period. I love Survivor. Typically my favorite part of Survivor is the immunity challenges and the reward challenges. I just like to see people doing those like obstacle course types of things. So I love Survivor for that reason mainly. Survivor is best for me when everyone is playing to win and no one is playing it safe. Two of my most favorite seasons of Survivor all time, season 44, the year Yam Yam won. I thought that was an amazing, amazing season. The way that Yam Yam Carson, and their other alliance member, Caroline. Yes, Caroline. I don't know why I was forgetting her name, but yes, the way Yam Yam Carson and Caroline just played the other 2 tribes after the merge to get themselves to the final 4 was amazing. And it seemed like the other 2 tribes were kind of coasting a little bit because they felt like they had the thing in a bag, going back and forth as to who had more power, things of that nature. My favorite season of all time is, I believe, season 31, Cambodia, Second Chance, the season that Jeremy won. Everyone was playing to win. And, that's what we typically get with all-star seasons because they're not going to pick, just fillers. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times filler is used for RuPaul's Drag Race, but Survivor has fillers too. People who are just there just for the experience. They're not to play. They're not to, gain alliance members. They're not to, not to win. And I love seasons when everyone is there to win. And so this season was so frustrating for me to watch. As soon as I saw Savannah and the way that they were editing how she was presented to the audience, let me know that she was definitely going to make it to the merge. She's definitely has survivor IQ. She knows how to play. She knew what she needed to do to get to the end. Me personally, I did not care for Savannah, mainly because of her personality type. She was very condescending towards others. She definitely thought that she came across as entitled to me, and I did not like that whatsoever. And it seemed like people saw that, like Christina, for instance. I think Christina saw that. There was a one-on-one between Savannah and Christina where Christina was kind of caught off guard because Savannah was asking her extremely direct questions. And, Christina's not that type of girl to, especially when I don't think she liked Savannah. I don't think she ever liked Savannah for that particular reason. So that's why I did not care for Savannah. But I knew that if they did not get Savannah out, that she would win. And I was so upset with Sage. I was rooting for Sage. I loved her personality. I loved how direct she was. I loved when she was going back and forth with, I think her name was Shannon. I can't remember who the girl was that she ended up getting out after a while. But she was playing friendly with her, and then when old girl turned her back, Sage gave the camera a nasty look, and I loved that. But I don't know why Sage did not see how good of a player Savannah was. And for Sage to align herself with Jawan, whom I was so frustrated with because I felt like he overlooked Rizzo and Savannah as well. And the fact that Sage and Jawan truly thought that they were running the game is so ironic to me when it was Rizzo and Savannah running it since the merge. When Nate got voted out, I thought that it was the beginning of the end for Savannah and Rizzo. I truly thought that the others, MC, Christina, Steven, Sage, Jawan, like I really thought that they were going to be able to take over. And I feel as though although Rizzo didn't play nice to people's faces. I think like Rizzo was very direct. Feel like Rizzo and Savannah are two of the same. You know what I'm saying? One, they were a lot alike, and I could tell why they aligned themselves with one another. And that's one good thing that I could say about Soph. At least Soph put Rizzo and Savannah up against each other for fire making, because the fact that Soph did not take Rizzo's idol showed me what type of player she was. And it let me know that she was not playing to win. She obviously was not playing to win. You can't. And I'm sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place, but I think for her to put Savannah and Rizzo against each other in fire making told me that she knew that she would not have a good chance of winning against either one of them. But if she knew that, then why would she not turn on Rizzo and Savannah a whole lot earlier? But I guess she felt like Savannah and Rizzo were her best chance of making it to the end, and maybe her only goal was to make it to the end, and she was just okay. Well, I mean, when we saw the after show, she was clearly okay with taking second place. So, it is what it is. But this season just frustrated me so much. Christina never had an alliance. Yes, she was close to Steven. She wasn't necessarily close to Sage or anyone else. It seemed like she was close to MC at a time. But I don't know if she ever watched Survivor before. And I feel like a whole lot of people on this season had never seen Survivor before. And so when you deal with a lot of people who sort of kind of get the premise of what Survivor is, but don't know how the game is played, that's what frustrates me the most about watching Survivor, because Survivor is all about alliances. All about alliances. And my favorite part of Survivor, especially season 31 in Cambodia for Second Chance, is that, there were one main alliance, to be honest, Jeremy's alliance with Kimmy, Tasha, and, eventually Spencer. That basically ran the game. But you had their adversaries, which were Abby, Kelly Wentworth, and I think her name was Sarah. And that's what I like the most, when you have two or three alliances battling against one another to see who comes out on top. Whereas in this season, there was one main alliance, which was Rizzo and Savannah, sort of kind of Sophie in there as well. Well, I guess we can include Sophie as well. She was definitely part of their alliance, against just a bunch of other drifters who, if you see there are two or three people that are clearly working together, why would you not gather up the troops and say, well, let's be their adversaries, so that they would have something to go up against, and so that we can find ourselves making it to the end? But because they did not see, well, I don't know if they didn't see it, but because they did not acknowledge Rizzo, Savannah, and Soph being the power alliance that they were, I don't know why they underestimated them. I really don't understand. Me personally, I was rooting for Alex. Alex was my favorite contestant on this season. He was the first contestant to actually have a line in this season. I knew I was going to root for him. He's a Libra, which I'm always going to root for a Libra. When I found out their zodiac signs, and so but Alex, I'm not surprised that Alex got voted out when he did, because he was trying to play both sides, and you really can't do that on Survivor whatsoever. But I would rather someone someone, play both sides rather than not pick a side. You know what I'm saying? To just be a drifter, just to be sort of kind of out there, for the experience. Like, you got to play to win. And that's my favorite part of Survivor is when players are playing to win. Yam Yam, who won season 44, was playing to win from the moment he stepped onto the island. Carson was playing to win from the moment he stepped onto the island. I feel like Danny was playing to win on that season from the moment he stepped onto the island. I feel like Brandon was playing to win from the moment he stepped onto the island. Like, you have to have like that. Then that is my plea to producers on Survivor. I'm not sure if they'll ever see this video, but it's hard to, kind of gauge whether the people they pick for the show are actually going to play like true Survivor players, until they actually get out there and see what they're doing. Interviewing will only get you so far, but we need Survivor players who are going to play to win, or at least that's what I prefer. Because otherwise you just see a bunch of, I'll just call them just drifters who are just votes, drifters who are just there for the experience, drifters who are not there to win. Of course, everyone would want to win $1 million, but when you're playing Survivor, you have to act like you know how the game works. And the majority of these people on this season did not act like they knew how the game worked. Although I love Sage, she did not play a smart game. Because if she was playing a smart game, she would not have been so hell bent on getting Sophia out. After, Sophia turned on her and Juwan and got Juwan out and, put the target where it should have been on Savannah. When you play with your heart, that gets you in trouble a whole, like 10 out of 10 of the times. When you're playing with your heart, you will F yourself every single time. And that was so frustrating for me because after Jawan, after Alex were voted out, Sage was my girl. Sage was the one that I was rooting for, but she never won an immunity challenge. She strategic in a way, sort of, kind of, but she once again was strategic with her heart and not strategic with her mind like Savannah was. I noticed that Savannah was going to be a winner. Not I don't know if I called it honestly after the final five. After she won the final five immunity challenge, I knew she was going to make it to the end. I thought that Rizzo might beat her in the fire making challenge, but excuse me, Rizzo wasn't able to get a flame, and that's how that went. I didn't necessarily care for Rizzo as well. I'm not happy that Savannah and Rizzo are both going to be on Survivor 50. And the good thing about Survivor 50 is it is an all-star season. Q, who is one of my favorite Survivor players of all time. Like, it seems like he truly studied the game of Survivor and knew exactly what he needed to do. I was so upset when he went home, when he got voted out with an idol in his pocket. That season was so frustrating for me because he was on a losing tribe. I mean, his tribe was losing challenges, immunity challenges left and right. But he did what he could to make it to the end. He pulled his tribe mate aside and, kind of gave him a Survivor one-on-one course on how to play the game. And, I love that about Q. And yes, Q might seem a little overconfident. If you guys saw the preview for season 50, he said, he's going out, no holds barred, and I love that. I love that Ozzy's on the 50th season, and to me, Ozzy is one of those players who's perfect for Survivor, but I don't think he will ever win. But I would love for him to win. I think that would be amazing if he won. Cirie is back. Awesome. That's awesome for her to see, for her to be there. She's another one of those people who is excellent for Survivor, perfect for Survivor. But I don't think that she'll ever make it to the end. But she might. Who knows? She's made it to the end twice before, if I'm not mistaken. To the final three, that is. Twice before, if I'm not mistaken. So I know season 50 will be great. I feel like every episode is going to be awesome. When you have people who know how to play the game, that's when it's the most entertaining. And that's what I'm looking forward to in season 50. But congratulations to Savannah. She won it outright. She was the most deserving of out of everyone on that island. She was the most deserving because it seems to me like Savannah and Rizzo were the only people who had ever watched Survivor a day in their life and knew how to play the game. And rightfully so. They deserved to get to the end. They deserved to get to the final four, and Savannah definitely deserved to win Survivor 49 because she was the best for the position of winner. So tell me in the comments, you guys, how you felt about Survivor 49. Who were your favorites once again? Were you surprised that Savannah won? Let me know down in the comments. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace out, y'all.